All right, Knights of Apollo, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to another Total War Rome 2 Siege battle. Once again, we have a pros versus noobs battle, but this time it's a little different. Instead of the pros being on defense, they're going to be on the attack. So not only do they have to fight through the walls, but they're also down an entire army. So this is a 3 versus 4, where there's 4 defending armies. But not only are they down an entire faction, but they also have weaker factions compared to the defenders. So if we quickly look at the factions that are going to be fighting today, starting with the pros, the attackers, we have Boii, Epirus, and Sparta. These factions aren't exactly weak, but they're also not the strongest in the game. Now for the noob side, the defenders, we've got the Seleucids, Rome, Galatia, and Egypt. Those are some of the strongest factions in the game. I also want to mention that one of the pro players, he goes by the name Fight Me. He's leading Epirus. He is also a YouTuber, so if you could check out his channel, he covers a lot of strategy games, Total War. Give him some love and hit the subscribe button. So guys, the pros today have a disgusting disadvantage that they must overcome. Will they do it, or will they fall short and the noobs will claim victory? Let's find out. Get your snacks and drinks, sit somewhere comfortable, and let's get started. And so it begins. I'm really excited about this battle because it's nice to see. I don't think we've seen yet the pros on the attack where the noobs are on defense. It's all been pros on defense, outnumbered. Well, this is going to be entirely different. You're going to see a different approach, different strategies, and we're going to see how the pros overcome a huge disadvantage on attack, which attacking, you're already at a disadvantage in terms of, you know, the settlements and the structures that you have to overcome and the siege towers and everything like that. So it's going to be really fun to see how they approach this. Now, Boii has already sent forward their siege towers to block the arrow towers of the settlement. This is a common strategy with skilled players. I've seen quite a bit, and it does work mostly. You can see that they still can kind of shoot on the other angles, the other windows, but it does help a little bit. So they're gonna do, like I said, they got to do everything in their advantage to try to overcome such a huge disadvantage. So now we got naked warriors over here. They pushed up these towers. They're blocking this arrow tower. The defenders, Egypt here, they are using their Cretan archers to fire over. So that's a good play right there. Good to see the newer players utilize their archers and try to get some early kills here. And he is spamming out commands right now, trying to dodge those. If you hear the constant, get running, run, they're just constantly giving new orders. Look at this. Trying to avoid the arrows to get them to exhaust their ammo on one unit rather than easily kill them and do a ton of damage. So this is another high skilled tactic here that takes a lot of time to learn how to dodge arrows, how to run your unit at the perfect exact time. Now we got more arrow towers moving forward. Oh, now we got a tortoise brought down a wall. We got another wall broken down here by Epirus. Sparta pushing up some tortoises as well. You'll also notice that, guys, with the siege towers. Do you notice how the pros never use their siege towers when they're taking on the Greek stone walls or the Roman stone walls? They never use the siege towers as they are meant to be used, which of course is dropping off troops on the walls, because you're at a huge disadvantage when you're fighting on walls, because the enemy, the defenders, can hold you back with far less troops and then shoot you from the ground, from the streets. They can fire up onto the walls, so they just avoid the walls entirely. That's why the tortoises are so important here, because it makes it a bit more of an even playing field. It's still a choke point, but it's much bigger than if you'd fight on the walls. And here we go. Epirus charging in with some levies, taking on some Eastern spearmen. They should easily handle these Eastern spearmen, and they're going to gain control of the gate. Now, look at this. They actually have used the tower here. They actually are using the tower to take some of the wall. But notice, again, there's no enemies nearby. They're just using it to quickly take control of the wall and send in reinforcements and neutralize the siege towers. But yeah, Epirus is storming in with countless troops along with Boei, and they are claiming this territory, and they are not letting up. They're not going slow here. That's another good mindset for the attackers to have. Don't take your time. Be aggressive and be quick, because that's going to make the defenders a little disorganized, a little like they have less time to see things happening unravel. They have less time to make decisions, to reorganize their troops and to get into better defensive positions. So I love this aggressive play here of them just pushing in their troops as quickly as possible. Now we got Egypt and Galatia standing together against Boei's advance of Celtic warriors. It's good to see the siege towers actually being used as intended. I think he's going to go up here and fire down some javies. But again, they're going to be at risk here of these archers shooting at them. And honestly, Egypt needs to get his units away from here, because Boei is not going to push here. He's going at the very furthest away. Like, this is it. This is as far as they're going to go. They might take up this tortoise and attack the wall to open up a breach to get behind these defenders, which could be a possibility. But there's no need to have units way over here. Keep them close. Keep all your units close to make sure that you hold choke points, to make sure you have the appropriate amount of support for these choke points. But this is a pretty good stand right here. Well, now we got some artillery coming in. Oh, yeah. Some artillery hitting these thorax swordsmen, already killing 3 of them. But this is a good defense by the Seleucids. I like this. They've got a scattered system here where they can support each other with javies as the front line engages in close combat. But the artillery is obviously going to focus this. They're going to use their archers to focus down the Syrian heavy archers. This is a big threat to the attackers, especially for Boei, which is a lighter defense, lighter armored type faction. So they definitely, I say this all the time. I'll say it again. Rome 2 is all about skirmishing. If you eliminate the enemy's ability to skirmish, you will easily win the battle. So that's what we're seeing here. The Cretan archers of Epirus letting loose their arrows and focusing down the infantry, focusing down the enemy archers, which is why the Seleucids have fallen back their archers. They're going to move them back up. Look at guys. They're down to half strength. They have 0 kills. That's huge for the attackers. Let's go over here now, where there's some interesting developments here. We got Sparta that might actually, he's either going to build a wall of towers to block these arrow tower shots, or he might actually use them. He's got the tortoise coming around here, so they're definitely looking for ways to get behind the initial defensive positions. Here's Sparta. Now, Sparta's an interesting faction. They're a tough faction, but they're stronger on defense. On offense, they're not quite as powerful. I mean, there's always variables. There's always different situations where they're going to excel over others, but taking on Rome as Sparta on attack, that's going to be pretty tough. But we got veteran legionaries holding back Spartan youths and royal Spartans. A nice combination there. I love this. This is a clash of who's got the best drip. I mean, it's definitely got to be Sparta. But, Rome, I mean, come on. Rome is hard to beat. All right, let's head back this way where Epirus is engaged in an intense melee here with the Samnite warriors, an excellent infantry unit, taking on the mercenary, Galatian swordsmen. And this is why he has his infantry and why they have the siege tower here, because they can easily get these javi throwing units up here to support from above. And this is just great. This is why sometimes, guys, you do want to keep units ready to go to defend the walls, because the enemy can use the walls against you. Artillery still opening fire into the blob of archers over here. The archers have 10 kills. This unit has 5 kills. See, this is not good. Never just force your... I know it's tough sometimes, but if your archer is in a vulnerable position, it's in a position where they can easily get focused down like that situation, get them out of there. You're not going to compete with that. So the best thing to do is just to avoid unnecessary deaths of your archers. Wait until there's a better opportunity to activate your archers. But this is a nice defense by the defenders. I mean, the new players, I think they're being pretty smart so far, all things considered. Sure, they can be a little bit wiser with their archer play, but overall, they're holding pretty good choke points here, and they don't have to be perfect. That's the advantage of the pro players. They have numbers. They've got more, you know, they've technically got more funds, if I'm not, you know, because it's per player. They've got an extra player, so they, and of course they have the settlement in their advantage, but right now the attackers are doing a good job of using the settlement for their own advantage. But yeah, we've got archers here that keep running into melee. The only reason I think they keep doing that is because they're trying to shoot at a target way back here, and they're running forward, and they're just getting too close to the infantry fight. You got to put your archers on guard mode. That prevents your archers from chasing after enemy units that you're shooting at. And once again, guys, the defenders are making a costly mistake by moving up their archers in this kill zone where the attackers have multiple angles. They have multiple angles on this position. Look at this. You're gonna get fried if you keep sending archers up this way. But remember, the defenders have a lot more archers than the attackers do. So even if they've lost a good amount of units there, it's still not over. They can recover. They just got to stop the bleeding. So Sparta's still fighting and trying to get through this choke point. Honestly, I don't see Sparta being too aggressive here. Like, I don't see them actually really trying here. I think they're just kind of keeping these units busy. I think the center assault is going to be the main assault. Over here, Epirus is making some progress. Honestly, this is also looking really promising for the attackers, for the pros. There we go, Epirus charging in. Boom! Clashing with the thorax swords. A tough unit, but if they keep getting harassed by skirmishers and whatnot, it's going to be... Oh, wait, are they running? They're running away, guys. That is not good. They're going to lose so many troops in this. They probably should just stand their ground. Oh, look at this Bowie eye. Using the tortoise. I like this approach, too, from the pro players. Doing a delayed siege equipment attack. So sometimes defenders will get tunnel vision in the sense that, okay, the enemy has broken through the walls. That's it. We don't have to worry about their siege equipment anymore. And then if you're... You know, if you're wise and you're attacker, you can hold off until later and then break through, and that puts some cracks, literally and metaphorically, in the defenses of, well, the defenders. Let's go back over to the center and see how this is playing out. Let's see how the pros are approaching this. They have complete air control, air domination here in terms of projectiles. They are just annihilating anybody that comes close to this fight that's an archer and infantry. But you got Celtic warriors charging in. You've got constant cycle charging. Look at this. Mercenary Italian swords, 61 kills. Guys, the mercenary Italian swords aren't particularly amazing. Like, they aren't just... They're pretty good, don't get me wrong, but they're not, like, top tier. The fact that they have 61 kills and there's still 144 of them, and they've been fighting units like the thorax swordsman, that is really promising. And here we go. Here comes some reinforcements. This is a good play right here from the defenders. Happy to see this. Thorax swordsman going around the flank and getting these Celtic warriors. So good to see some reinforcements, but they gotta figure out the archer situation. They really gotta figure this out because they keep losing so many archers. Now we got a scorpion getting into position, and the scorpion's they've just been wiped out. They got 41 kills. At least they got 41 kills, but the scorpion needs to be in a position that is discreet. It is not quite obvious, you know, out in the open. It would have been better if they had them, you know, back here, and they kind of fired into... You got to be kind of sneaky about the scorpion. And they left it in range of the enemy archers, which is why it got evaporated so quickly. Sparta, if we look, let's just look at the so let's slow this down. Let's look at the tactical view here. Sparta is, I wish it would differentiate between the different factions, but Sparta is mostly focused on this right side. Oh, I gotta hold it. Sorry. Mostly focused on this right side. The center is a combined arms, combined faction. We also have, I think, artillery. Yes, we have a Greek Scorpion with 46 kills. They've lost nobody yet. And you see the difference? See the difference of how they're using their Scorpion? They have complete control of this area, that they're going to be able to use the Scorpion without any kind of harassment. There's nothing that they have to be worried about. And it's gonna just rip through a lot of infantry units and be huge. Honestly, I doubt the defenders, and I don't know for sure, but through my own personal experience, the Scorpion is a silent killer, and it can sneak up on you and get some good kills. So we'll see what happens. Over here, though, this is a big problem. Let's go back to normal speed. Epirus and Boii are both kind of fighting in the center and over on the left flank. They are starting to get to the point where they've opened up this street path, and that's going to put pressure potentially behind the defenders. And it almost appears that the defenders, yes, they are falling back. Partially they're falling back, but the more they fall back, the closer these archers get. And the attackers continue to just put so much pressure. We got slingers here, the Celtic slingers. We got mercenary Rhodian slingers. So 2 slinger units, very good. And they're going to just tear up those archers. I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But you got to rely on buildings. You got to rely on buildings here to protect your archers, especially against slingers, where it's more difficult for the slingers to fire over buildings. So leaving them out in the open like this is a risk. They are getting some shots. They've only got 9 kills. This unit here has 15. This unit has 60. That's decent. You want to try to at least get 100 kills, around 100 kills with your archers. And that's, you know, from the defensive perspective. As the attackers, yeah, you want a lot more. Like this one has almost 200 kills. This slinger has 188. The Scorpion now has 49 kills. So if the attackers are going to win this, they got to rely on getting a ton of kills with their archers. And so far, they're doing exactly that. The balance of power is still in favor of defenders. And I cannot stress enough, guys, that's still a big climb that you have to overcome as the attackers. In normal situations, the balance of power looks like, even if it looked like this reverse, like the balance of power was in favor of the attackers, this would still be a challenge because they're attacking. But the fact that the balance of power still looks like this, they have to overcome the defenses and overcome this balance of power. It's going to be a great challenge. And so far, they've done a great job. They just got to keep it up. They can't make any mistakes. They have to play flawlessly. And so far, they have done exactly that. They've played flawlessly. You know, it's hard to really see where they can improve on. They've got an archer over here that's kind of struggling. They already have 116 kills. They got to try to get at least close to 200. But this is good. This is good from the defenders. I like that. They're using their archers here. They don't want to blob them up like this, though. Spread them out so they're not overlapping each other, because it makes it so you're killing multiple units in one volley. But they are trying to put some pressure on this archer unit, so that's good to see. You know, that's a nice little win there. And it looks like the defenders have kind of reclaimed control of this crossroad here. And I think the attackers are kind of letting up, except for Sparta. Sparta continues to push hard here, and he's moving some siege equipment. He's going for the gate here. It looks like Boei's helping him out. They've got towers going to this wall. I'm kind of surprised. Let's see. Oh, they broke down this wall over here. Look at this. I didn't even notice this. And Rome has dedicated 2 units of veteran legionaries to defend it, but Sparta's not going for it. So it could be a distraction. It could be something that the attackers hope they forget about, and then Cav can run in, something of that nature. We'll see how that plays out. Let's go back to the main center line where Sparta has now sent up reinforcements. The great thing about Sparta is that they're not killing machines, but they're nearly impossible to kill. So if you throw a couple units of infantry in there for Sparta, they're just going to laugh. They're basically just, you know, a wall, a brick wall that is tough to bring down, and it's going to bring a lot of support to the higher killing units like the Sam Knight Warriors. Just kind of appreciate the chaos of this battle right now. Seeing these men throw their javies. The brave Romans making their stand. The Spartans fighting hard. Looking for cracks in the defense and trying to, you know, focus in on those cracks to create the crumble of the defense. And so far, they're doing a good job. There's still a ton of defenders, though, guys. The balance of power, again, still in favor of the defenders. Nice job by Bowie Eye here, using their sword followers up on this wall to throw down some javies. Already have 13 kills, and they're focusing down on veteran legionaries. Those are 13 veteran legionaries gone. I mean, that really does add up. At 13, 14 kills doesn't sound like that much, but it really is a ton. And now we got legionaries moving up. They're not veterans, but nonetheless, they're still legionaries. Over on this side, we've got thorough spears. A really good unit, considering how important skirmishers are in this game. They have the ability to throw a lot of javies into the front line, and they're certainly doing that with 43 kills and have yet to lose anybody. So that's good. That's good. That's how you got to use the thorough spears. When you have thorough spears, make sure you exhaust all their ammo before you use them as a melee unit. You'll get the most out of that unit. So definitely trying to put some pressure on the Spartans. Bowie Eye's coming over to support. The center is still fighting hard here. Balance of power, if anything, it kind of shifted more in favor of the defenders. And check this out, the defender's using a little bit of cycle charging of his own here. Very, very good. Very good from the defenders. I really like that. You can see that they're fighting hard. Regardless of their lack of skill, they are fighting hard. And they just broke a Cretan archer. I don't know if this archer unit is out of ammo, and so maybe he just sent it up there to soak up ammo. Because that's the other thing you got to look out for, guys, is make sure you're not wasting ammo on an archer unit that has no ammo. And the way you can tell it has no ammo is if they have their daggers out. If they have their daggers out, it means they've thrown their bows aside, and all they can do now is fight with their little daggers, their little Peter Pan swords. So, yeah, don't want to waste your ammo on that. But eventually, guys, I mean, this is, I think one of the challenges, too, here is how to conserve your ammo as the attackers, because you're going to need a lot of it to bring down the enemy archers. But, you know, it's going to be tough to try to manage and conserve your ammo. The gate is down. So now the gate's down. I don't think they're going to... It's very risky to charge through the gate, especially when there's veteran legionaries waiting for you on the other side. So I really don't think they're going to charge forward. But Sparta has used his siege towers. I'm actually surprised how much they're using their siege towers here to take these walls. I really like to see that. I know I was just saying pro players almost never use the siege towers as intended. But of course, when there's an opportunity that's advantageous to use the siege tower as, you know, it's designed to be used for, do it. Here's another mistake by the defenders. You got to turn off fire at will. They're exhausting their ammo on the wall. The AI basically thinks that it can hit these guys up here, but the angle is terrible. Let's see if they throw. Yep, look at this, guys. Like, maybe one or two Pila actually hit there. And that is just unfortunate because you're missing out on so many kills. Rome continues to send up reinforcements here. You love to see it. I love the grit. And the Roman player not willing to give up this strategic choke point. Go back over to the center where Sparta continues to chip away at these Galatians. Rome in the back here trying to use their Pila before they charge into melee. And now we got Cav charging in. The Hellenic Royal Cav of Epirus. A great charge on the archers. I think these archers are out of ammo. Maybe not. I don't know. But a great charge there. And now they're going to try to hit the rear of these Romans a little bit. But now they're going to disengage, and infantry is going to follow up and plug the gap. And over on this side, what's been going on here? So there was a lot of units here defending, but it might be that they're peeling units away to support the center. But we're getting to the point, guys, where the defenders starting to run out of troops. They're starting to run out of troops, and the balance of power still in their favor. But they got to make sure they start winning these engagements if they're going to win this battle. It's looking pretty good for the pros. Again, they're playing this flawlessly. And this looks like it's on the verge of cracking here. I just feel like as soon as they lose one of these flanks, it's over. So they need to make sure they don't lose it. They need to get some sort of archer advantage, skirmish advantage here. But again, that's not happening. The advantage is going in favor of the attackers as they take control of these walls and use the walls against them. And look at notice how they're not charging down here to fight these Romans, because they're not going to win there. That's something that might seem obvious, but you'll be surprised how many players they'll just charge any unit they know they're going to lose, but they feel like it's just something they have to do. Don't engage unless you have the advantage. There are going to be circumstances where you kind of have to hold a flank and it's a disadvantage, but you have to support a different flank that is winning. Of course, there's many different scenarios that you have to consider, but in most cases, if you don't have the advantage, don't go for it. Don't go for it. So great job by the attackers. Good patience, good use of skirmishers, good use of the walls. And there we go. These guys are almost out of ammo. They've got 31 kills, and they're down to 42 men. Rome sending over some units. We got Rome falling back from the center. I don't know if he's going to reform here. He might. And now the archers are back at it again. Spartan archers. These are Cretan archers firing over the buildings and going for the enemy archers way over here. This is the Syrian. Oh, check this out. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I like to see. There's a single Syrian archer getting almost 200 kills. They still have ammo. They're at 176. So it's good to see the defenders use their archers effectively here. Now we got the Scorpion moving forward. I think they used all their ammo. No. They still have it moving forward. They have 147 kills. Wow. So yeah, that Scorpion's a problem. I'd try to take it out. I can't imagine it has that much more ammo. Oh, look at this huge break. A huge break of the pros. The pros are starting to run out of infantry there. They got to send up reinforcements. They've got... Is this a Scorpion up here? Oh, no, that's the giant ballista, which got 276 kills. The giant ballista. So it was over here, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't see it in action too much, but 267 kills. I think I mixed that up. Anyways, dyslexic mind here. Great job with the ballista. And now they're just chilling at the gate, watching the battle from afar. They've done what they needed to do. Celtic bowmen also kind of sitting back here. I don't know if they still have ammo, but they're going to have to send up reinforcements in the center because they are starting to thin out. They might have to send some levies. Sparta has some units over here. They're trying to break through. This is also on the verge of cracking as well. But you can see, guys, that we're down to the last 10 minutes of this battle. And the balance of power hasn't changed that much. So it's going to be tough for the pros to overcome this. You know, it's getting to the point where they're either going to chain route the defenders or the defenders are going to chain route them. Royal Spartans. Yeah, they're doing a good job here. So they are engaging. So once they neutralize the gate, they're charging through it because the oil is no longer going to be a problem. But notice that they don't have enough defenders here. So Cav is going to run through and most likely hammer and anvil this Roman unit if they can squeeze by. Oh, nope, they're going to go this way. Yep, they're going to surround the Romans Oh, that's not good. This is not good over here. So Romans need help because they're taking on Royal Spartans. We got Spartan youths coming in as reinforcements. We got another Royal Spartan. Roman generals over here. He might go in and help out, which is something. It's something. And Rome is starting to break over here. Egypt is now down to Egypt. The Seleucids, they're starting to run out of troops. They make their kind of final stand over here as well. And there's a considerable, actually, you know, they do have, well, this is coming down to the wire, basically. This is coming down to the wire. And I think, guys, get some close-ups here real quick. I think what we're going to see is that if Rome crumbles here, you're going to have two fairly healthy Roman Spartans. Yeah, they're going to crumble. Look at this. Look at this. Yep. Oh. And there's nothing they can do about it, guys. There's nothing that the Romans can do about it. But they're down to 99. Watch how quick that's going to fall after that charge. And they're now at 90 in one charge. Oh, 88. 80. It's just, they're going to keep cycle charging. The youths have gone through this gap, and they're now going to flank around. So if they break through here, they're going to be able to storm this way and get behind the defenders, or even just go this way, free up the troops here, and then they can push over here. I mean, this is... the defenders need to send more support over to that Roman side because this is a major problem for their defense. And look at Epirus. Epirus is getting really creative with this flanking. He's getting behind the defenders, and there he goes. He's charging in. Now, I don't think they're actually going to break through any of these troops, but they're definitely forcing the defenders to spread out their men. And the balance of power is starting to shift, guys. The balance of power is still in favor of the defenders, but it's getting closer to even, which, of course, is obviously good for the attackers. Oh, man. Look at the chaos in this battle. And there we go, guys. They've broken the Romans, and now Sparta's sending in reinforcements. They're now free to charge this way as well. And here's the issue, guys. The Galatian legionaries, yeah, they're going to do a pretty good job holding here, but you think no one's going to flank them? This cav is going to easily go around and hit these guys. So, oh, no. And then they got some cav going this way as well. It looks like they ran through this gap, and now they're going to hit. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's not good. That's actually a pretty good move by the Galatians to fall back like that and go for this cav. In fact, it's getting Epirus a little bit by surprise, but they're going to finish with their charge, and then the Spartans are going to follow up. And yeah, it's just the Galatians are in a tough spot, and then they're going to have to deal with this cav over here. And they might even just go for the victory point. I think the victory point is right here. It's one of the harder victory points to attack. But the defenders honestly should have fallen back sooner to this area because you can hold here and here. And I think, yeah, I mean, that's it. There's just like, just hold here and here. So they missed an opportunity of falling back to a more less open area to defend, right? But we're going to just sit back and enjoy this carnage for a few seconds here. Oh. This guy's going in. Look at him go. Oh, and he gets him finally. Persistent. But now he's found himself surrounded by Egypt. All right, not Athens. Epirus is still fighting back Egypt. Seleucid's got some units back here. We've got a general chasing down another general. Epirus' general trying to kill. Yeah, you definitely want to go for the general. Look at the generals are running for it, which is smart because you want to keep them alive, because if they die, the morale of your forces are going to crumble. And guys, we're down to less than 5 minutes. And honestly, looking at this battle, it's still dead close, guys. Look at this. It's still anyone's game. And And Egypt is pretty much the strongest force left. They're the ones who have the last strong army. It's going to be up to them to win this battle. So it's all going to come down to the center. Epirus still has a ton of troops here. They're probably going to overwhelm this Egyptian thorax swordsman unit. Seleucids are trying to deal with this flanking force. They got a general Royal Peltis. They're going to charge these Rhodian slingers and most likely break them unless they can get them out of there, which they are not, which is fine because those slingers have taken care of a thorax swordsman unit. So a nice little struggle going on there. Let's head back to the center. Oh, yeah. Nice charge by Bowie. Is that the general? No, that's not the general, but it's sword followers. That's right. The general is Cav. And I think they've just taken... Yeah, they took care of the defenders' generals. So now they're closing in the jaws of the defeat. Well, jaws of victory for the attackers. They've got multiple units behind enemy lines. And at that point, guys, it's over. It is over. There is nothing the defenders can do. They have lost all the flanks. And it's still very close. The balance of power, though, now obviously in favor of the attackers. And it was a battle of attrition. It was a battle of taking out important units when you needed to. So the biggest thing that really hurt the defense, I think, was the loss of the archers in the center there. I mean, they just did everything so well. I mean, you have to play flawlessly to win when you're at such a huge disadvantage, taking on such strong factions. Nice little charges here and there, just trying to clean up what's left, and that's basically where we're at, guys. We're in the cleanup phase of this fight, and surprisingly, still has a decent amount of time, so I assume the thorax general here is going to put up a stand. No, he's breaking too. But what is... Oh, the Seleucid general. He is the one that's going to make a stand. Because we still have a minute and 20. Balance of power obviously looking like a cigarette, which is never good for the losing side. We got slingers charging into Royal Peltis. This Royal Pelt is a really good unit. They have 224 kills. So good for them. And they're sending help desperately to try to kill this general, because it's the last unit standing here. And this was a close battle, guys. I mean, the pros, it may look like they have a lot of units, but these are all pretty depleted units. This is a great close battle. So yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest weak point of the defenders, is their use of skirmishers, which is normal, because that's usually where the higher skill comes in. Everybody can charge in a sword unit, but using your archers in perfect, situations and really focusing down on key targets and everything. Oh, there's the Roman general. Oh, he's dead too now. Okay. And there you have it, guys. That's going to conclude this battle. I hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely unique. It's usually the defenders are the pros, but this time it's switched and the pros have taken it. So very exciting stuff. That was quite the disadvantage there that they had to overcome. So great show indeed. Let's end this replay. So another big thanks to COS, Fight Me. COS sent the replay. Fight Me sent in the POV. But yeah, GG to all these players here. They did a fantastic job. Fight Me getting 3,000 kills. Bowie here getting just shy of it. Same with Sparta. But Sparta, remember, Sparta was more of like a tank that doesn't do a lot of damage. Just like a strong unit. But they got some good kills here with their... Don't get me wrong. Royal Spartans got some kills. But yeah, good job by Rome here getting the most for his team. I wonder if they... No, they were allowed 4 archers. See, Rome should have probably brought some slingers, because I think you're maxed out with 3 Syrian archers, but you can still bring some slingers, which I think they should have done. Yeah, so their archers, if you look, just didn't get enough. This one unit got 188. That's pretty good. Scorpion only getting 41 kills, so... But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this battle as much as I did. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. And guys, I'll see you next time on the battlefield.